Hello everybody and welcome back to JoJo's. Today we're going to be doing a JoJo openings tier list. For the sake of this tier list, we're not going to be doing the Bites the Dust version or Giorno version.
Any of the
alternate versions besides the EDM version of Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town.
Because that's like a separate song.
Yeah,
so
we also have included the Rohan opening because it's, I think, just as valid.
It's a JoJo opening. Yeah, it's a full song. It deserves a place.
So we should probably go in order. So we'll start with this one. I mean, it's the classic. So I think immediately we'll both agree S for Sonoshino Saname. Yeah,
absolutely. It's peak. It's absolute peak, and I think it's one of the only anime openings out there that uses 3D, good.
Yes.
Also, that's
I mean,
all
Kamikaze Douga, I think, is just insane. I mean, if I had my way, they would do all of Steel Ball Run, but.
Oh my God, yeah, that would go. Okay. Side tangent, I'll keep it short, but it's important for this video because a lot of the anime openings have 3D CGI in them. For JoJo, it's a big thing. But I think that 3D anime gets a very bad rap because it's been done so poorly so many times. But when it's done really good, it's amazing, and it can save a lot of time and effort that, would otherwise just be wasted.
I mean, I think everyone's in agreement that the 3D openings are vastly better than the 2D openings.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're just more dynamic.
Our opinions. Don't attack us. Don't go mob us in the comments, please.
But I don't think there was anyone when Stone Ocean went back to 3D. I don't think there was anyone that was saying oh man, we need to go back to 2D openings.
Yeah. Yeah, no. When I first saw that the opening was 3D, I was very happy.
Yeah.
I was excited.
All right, Bloody Stream is next. For me, Bloody Stream's an A tier.
Bloody Stream's my favorite. That's the best one, I think.
So we're gonna disagree, and I think this is gonna loop around for sure in End of the World because it's I feel the same way about End of the World like you do for Bloody Stream.
Yeah.
I think Bloody Stream's really good, but I think just a lot of the other ones just are better than it because I think JoJo has some of the probably the highest batting average in terms of good intros I've seen. In a for any anime.
For any anime period, actually. I would agree with that. Yeah, but Bloody Stream, man, I don't know. I just sometimes if I don't listen to it for a while, maybe I'll think maybe this isn't as good as I remember it being, and I listen to it and I'm like, nah, this is the best one. This is the best.
I think because this is our collective list. For now, I'm gonna put it in A. But then
that's
at the end of because I think it's A and you think it's S, so by the end of it we'll see and we'll average it. I mean, my other issue with Bloody Stream is in the actual. I just don't like because I'm including the animation with it too. I think.
Oh no, I am too.
I think the other 3D intros pass it. In my opinion.
No, I think when it transitions from the
silhouettes
kind of semi 2D silhouettes and stuff to the regular 3D models, I think that's super cool.
It also is very spoilery, which is pretty funny, but it's kind of out of context.
It's out of I don't think I've ever seen someone watch Bloody Stream and they'd be like, I know what's gonna happen now. It's pretty. It's surprisingly well done. It's not Trader's Requiem, which just shows the offense of the story, okay?
So, Stand Proud, I mean, I think this is a solid A tier. I don't think it...
I'd agree.
I think it's the song's a little too generic, but I think the animation makes up for it.
I remember the first time I listened to Stand Proud, I didn't like it very much. Sonoshino Sadama and Bloody Stream, immediate hits for me. I loved them out the bat first time I heard them. Stand Proud, I listened to it and I was like, really? Is this what I'm gonna have to hear throughout half this entire part or whatever?
Yeah.
Or actually, I wasn't sure how long it was gonna last back then. I assumed it was just the season.
It lasts long, yeah.
It
lasts longer than what the first season of JoJo's entire running time is.
Especially since, how long part 3 is, period. Yeah. It lasts a very long time. But it grew on me a lot, and now I think it's a absolute banger. A tier. Which even honestly, in the whole span of JoJo's, in this tier list period, I'd say like a like B in this tier list is like a A in like all anime openings ever.
Yeah.
Or in that sort of scope,
Totally.
which is incredibly impressive.
And one little detail I like in the Stand Proud opening is the extra star for Iggy that they do. I think that's super fun.
I think Stand Proud probably has like some of the biggest like details in it and stuff. There's a lot of smaller moments
and that
or
get
whatever.
referenced later.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
sure.
Like and also like every single time they show the two times they show like Jonathan and Joseph or whatever are so cool.
So good.
It
I
works
mean,
so
one of my
well at the
favorite
beginning.
shots is the vines going down on him.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Oh, it like shows the legacy or whatever,
legacy.
like the family tree, and it like goes down to him, and he's like, dude, it works so well, on so many levels. It's art, I say.
So
So yeah,
next
A tier, you think?
is I think solid A tier. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah.
I don't think that one's gonna move. End of the World is my absolute favorite. I legitimately, I'm gonna place it in A tier for now. But legitimately, I think it is just like the perfect, because the back half of Part 3 is far better than the first half. I think.
Yeah.
I think most people agree on that too. And End of the World, like, it's slower at first. It's very similar to Heaven's Falling Down, honestly. In terms of how it is.
So.
Well, retroactively, Heaven's Falling Down.
I meant reverse of that. Heaven's Falling Down is intentionally a lot like
Which
End of
I
the World.
really dig, because we got that fast-paced Stand Proud, and then we got a slower-paced one. The animation is, like, just insane. I think probably my favorite 3D
great.
intro in terms of the animation-wise. And then
It does some of the stuff that Bloody Stream started with, like the silhouettes and everything at like
which
the
is
end.
great. And it, of course, has the first villain interruption, which it was just awesome to see the first time.
That was crazy.
And I still think is probably the second best villain interruption at this point. Which we'll talk about the other villain interruptions later.
We'll talk about our
For me,
ranking on
The World
those,
is probably the second best villain interruption. I think it's just, I love it.
It's hard for me to rank the villain interruptions, but I think the World one is definitely high up there, just because it was unexpected. Nowadays, you get one for every.
You
for every
speculate,
part.
right? Everyone was speculating
it's
what's
coming.
Mean Heaven gonna do to the
And
intro.
then we saw it, and we were like, "Wow, that's cool." But when End of the World's second version first came out or whatever, it just happened, and it was like, oh, this changes everything.
Especially because it also, there's actually like two different versions, where there's one where it was the original World interruption, and then for the finale they change it so you see
They added even
more to it. Yeah. Which
I remember that.
makes it even better. And of course the opening like foreshadows all the deaths of the Stardust Crusaders too. I love it. I'm gonna place it in.
For me, the music just doesn't hit quite as good as the others. I think it's lower.
I love having all three of the singers there.
No, it's nice, but I just don't like the song as much. I think it's really good, but I don't think it's on par with the other three we've talked about. If I were to be doing this, I would put it at like a low A.
Yeah, I'm putting it in A tier right now. And I think it'll probably stay there, because I think you're more negative on End of the World than I am negative on Bloody Stream.
Yeah.
Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town. This is gonna be very unpopular, in my opinion. I think it is a B tier. I like it, but I think
no.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's wrong.
I think in the scheme, if everything was here, we would have everything in only S and A tier. If I'm really gonna divide stuff,
if we have to divide stuff, that's
Crazy Noisy
fair.
Bizarre Town. Part 4 is my favorite animated part so far, guys. Trust me. So.
You got that. You should have that bias because it's good. It's very, very good. I think Crazy Noise Bizarre Town is better than End of the World. I'm just gonna say that.
Wow.
That's also unpopular. So that we got the hot takes going around.
I know.
I think that is. I actually haven't seen a lot of like definitive rankings from people. I've just heard people
Yeah.
say, "Oh, all the openings are very good."
I have seen
That is the most
literally.
I've heard.
I have seen people say every single one of the openings is their favorite opening, which is something you do
Yeah.
not ever see in TV shows. Usually, there's like a
I've
consensus.
seen people talk about like Attack on Titan. I've seen a bunch of other stuff, My Hero and everything, and I hear it gets. I don't. There's always like a couple big ones that people will say,
Yeah.
but with JoJo, every single one I know has like huge fans to them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put this could easily sneak into A tier at the end because again I really like it. I just think it's just weaker. I'm gonna put it at the top of B tier, but when we reassess at the end, it could easily sneak into.
How do
the
you
A tier.
what do you think about the transition from 3D to 2D now? Because this was like the first one. Whatever.
I think it's good and they tried their hardest, but it does not make up for it at all.
Something that I've seen, I've kind of like noticed or whatever is that compared to something like Chase, which is very obviously 2D, if you're just watching them all back to back, it's kind of a smoother transition because most of it is silhouette of it. It starts out majorly like the whole iconic part where all the silhouettes are flashing by the screen quickly or whatever, and it's very stylized. So you kind of don't even think about like, oh, I'm watching what happened to the art style? Art style is different. It's kind of, but
In Chase and Great Days, you feel like that it's 2D.
It's much more obvious that it's 2D, and then they do some stylized stuff in Fighting Gold, but we'll get to that.
So the EDM version,
it does very nice.
I think, is just worse.
I think it's just worse.
I'm gonna put it in C. Like
I'd put it like top of C.
Yeah,
that would be
it'll probably be
my
top
ranking.
of C. I think it was fun to have as like a bonus for the season. Like I wouldn't take it away, but I think it's just not there with it. I would never listen to the EDM version over the regular version.
It feels like a kind of like the part 3 and 4 were doing a lot of experimental stuff with like music and stuff because we had the random EDM Crazy Noise Bizarre Town, and then we also had like the Oingo Boingo Brothers ending, and we've never had any other like ending or opening.
No, not even in part 6.
It's like a one-off thing. They just wanted to do it and they did it, which I think is very funny, but they should have done more.
Because we were speculating with part 6
committed.
that they could maybe do something where with Sea Moon they would do an opening, and then Made in Heaven they do an opening or something.
Something like that.
Or at all have 3 openings for that long of a season, but
yeah, but that didn't happen. So I'm glad that they did the EDM version.
Yeah,
it gives like a nice another fun version.
Especially during that fun arc with Koichi, too.
Yeah, I'm also glad they took out spoilers from Crazy Noise Bizarre Town at the very beginning because you don't see echoes. You don't see echoes at the beginning, and then once he gets it, they add it in. So apparently they care about spoilers now. So that's not, which they'll contradict completely later for Trader's Requiem.
Yeah.
I'm a big Trader's Requiem fan, by the way, but I think it's funny how it just kind of shows the whole thing. Anyways,
so next we obviously go to the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Chase, which goes in its own Chase tier, 5 tiers above S.
Best opening.
So I think it's B tier.
No, not B. Nah, that's like right next to the EDM version for me. That's C. That's C. I don't like Chase. It's not good. This is not good.
I've sent to you. There's the piano version of it. I think is like way better.
But we're not.
Everyone look up Coda
Piano
Piano Trio on Spotify. I know we're not. I know. I will also put it at the head of C tier. I would put it in B tier.
The most generic sounding song in the entire catalog.
If there was a unanimously like worst opening, I'm pretty sure everyone would agree it's Chase. But
there are
diehard Chase fans.
There are diehard Chase fans.
And trust me, I think it's really good. I would put it in B tier. I just don't. Yeah.
Again, if this was a regular, I was reviewing every single anime thing on the planet, it would be high B here. Yeah. But if I have to in order to make this list more interesting and not just SS A B B, then I'm gonna have to be a little critical here.
I do like that it's like a darker one though.
Yeah,
I like the animation.
the I get what it's doing. It's a sudden tone shift from Crazy Noise Bizarre Town to Chase. It's much darker, and also I think it's cool because Chase You can be either from Josuke's perspective or Kira's perspective. It's ha ha ha.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's the song is very like catchy. The chorus is very.
Something
You cannot deny it is the same thing said 50 times.
Something kind of interesting that I read about in an interview kind of about the part 4 openings is that they wanted to thematically have Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town, Chase, and Great Days. They referenced them to A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. That was a direct reference.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's on the JoJo Wikipedia. JoJo Wikipedia is goated. Go to the actual JoJo Wikipedia, not the fandom website.
Yeah, don't if it has fandom in it, then you're don't look at it.
But they apparently wanted to model it off of that, and I'm like, I could kind of see that. Chase is like the darker one, you know. Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town's more like your intro into the world to it, kind of, and then Great Days is kind of like the final fight, you know.
Yeah, it's very uplifting.
I can kind of see it, but I found that kind of interesting that was like their main influence for it. I'll pop up the reference right on screen right now.
Yeah, show that to our diehard fans who are
the next
thank you
one
for watching this video, by the way. Thank you.
I think we'll agree on here. I think Great Days is S tier.
No.
I think it's S tier.
I
think it's great.
Since the beginning, I've always thought Great Days is overrated. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. No, I think it's I think it's like B
Everyone
tier.
kill him in the comments. I said nothing about Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town.
Do not put my IP on screen, please, when editing. Do not. Please.
Oh man, I think
no.
I think it's better than Sonochi no Sadame.
It's not. No, it isn't. That is a lie.
It is. It's better.
See,
it's better.
We have only the hottest of debates here, such as this song is not as good as this other song. This is the content everyone has come here for. But you're wrong. You are incorrect. It is not as good as Sonochi no Sadame. Don't put them on the same caliber. Great Days is a banger. It's a bop. But for one, I think the version, I think the second version with Bites of Dust is way better than the actual just like regular version. But that's besides the point. I think like the ending of the song in that version where it goes back to the breakdown like part at the end. It's like that's cool. It's good. Great Days, the regular version just kind of ends. It's just gonna Great Days.
I mean, I'm thinking of this in context of the full song plus the animation, not just like the chunk of song that's in the intro.
Yeah, but it takes too long to get to that cool point. It's like the best part of the song, and it's like not. It's hard.
I'm going to hate you for this, but I will put it in the top of A tier. That is the because for me it's top of S. For and you think it's I assume you think it's A.
I think it's like bottom of A, high B, or something.
Okay,
like
I'm putting it in
A.
That's a good average, I think.
That's fine.
I'm putting it under End of the World.
Yes, that's what. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so that's kind of done for that, and then obviously now we had the Kira villain change, which you talked about a little bit, but I think that one is one of the weaker ones. Like, I like it. Obviously, the sound thing is, but it's just reversing the intro. It was cool the first time, and it like established the trend of they're gonna do this for all the villains. But I think there wasn't really unique animation to it.
Yeah,
so
I think
brings it down probably to the lowest. Honestly.
I think the song is overall made better because of it, but I think basically everything else is that just. It doesn't change enough. It just goes backwards, which it's like okay. It changes his hair too, I guess. So
yeah,
there's that. But it just doesn't hit quite as hard. So that's my thoughts on the villain version.
So next is Fighting Gold, which I love.
I love Fighting Gold. Fighting Gold is I said before about like how my initial thoughts on a song. I've only ever immediately loved like like 3 of them, which would be Sonoshino Sodomite, Bloody Stream, and Fighting Gold. All those 3 were
Fighting
the ones
Gold,
that I immediately
did
was
love
like, damn.
immediately. I liked Sonochino Sadame, Bloody Stream, Stand Proud and Great Days, and then Fighting Gold, like immediately, even out of, because I don't think Trader's Requiem we'll get to in a little bit, and then the Part 6 stuff I liked, but I loved it more later, so yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
Fighting Gold, I
just
think goes to the top of A tier. I think what we should do at the end, because we're gonna have probably 2 more A tiers here. I think what we should do is at the end we should vote. Each one of us gets 1 pick from A tier to go to S tier.
I'll sure. Let's
think.
yeah. That works. That works for me.
And I think Fighting Gold also, it does the silhouettes thing again, which is great.
And it's very stylized, very cool.
Stylized.
Has a James Bond shot with Mista and everything.
It made the 2D animation like justify itself, honestly.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna bother lowering the fidelity of like an opening, if you make it stylized to cover up for it, I don't care how
I'm honestly kind of shocked that they couldn't get the 3D intros for Part 5, considering it's the most popular part in Japan. You would think over Part 6 they would have, but I guess Part 6 was the end.
David Pro Period has always, for JoJo being such a popular franchise,
like
David
worldwide,
has always not been the most expensive, and it's a bit. I think. I've seen a few clips from Fire Force, which is another thing David Productions does, and the animation quality looks way higher than
crazy.
JoJo. I think they're just trying to stay as close to the manga as they possibly can.
I mean, we also saw with Made in Heaven how they animated that. That was way more dynamic, and it looked flawless, basically.
They can when they pull out all the stops when they want to, basically. But I think they are just genuinely trying to stick to the original, so they're not trying to like have everything be super fluid or everything. They're just doing what they can to translate the original, and in terms of with what we see in Fighting Gold, in terms of what they can add, like color and sound, they do it very, very well. It fits Part 5 tremendously. Like, Fighting Gold would not work as, like, a Part 4 opening.
So, next would be Trader's Requiem, which I think this is probably going to be our biggest fight out of all of it, because I think it's a B tier.
Probably. I think Trader's Requiem is S for me. I love Trader's Requiem is my great days. I love Trader's Requiem. I didn't like it at first,
dude.
but
It
it's
starts
great. No,
so slow, dude.
Yes, and then it builds up and goes up, and it's like, oh, that's the cool part where it
everyone
goes
in the comments bully him for saying he likes Trader's Requiem more than Great Days.
Now it's both. Now I'm getting double bullied. Okay, I just think, especially that part, even though I talked about the whole time how like the visuals give away the entire story of the second, like you don't even know if you're just watching anime only, you don't even know the stand arrow is part of this, and then bam, it's just there in the opening, and it's like you see him stab himself with it. I guess you don't see what happens, but you can guess something happens, okay? But it's very, very fan servicey.
Yeah.
Which I am a fan of. And I just think that the ending of it hits so hard with the freaking like the hell no to everything. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Why do you think it doesn't deserve?
I think I have an issue with all the spoilers in it. I think it's just it has so much spoilers in it. I think it's also not as interesting animation wise as Great Days or Fighting Gold. I find it's just I don't think it. I think it's kind of boring, and I think even though that part of the story I think is stronger than the first part, they just didn't do it well. They all they wanted to show was the Requiem fight at the end.
Yeah, that's fair. It doesn't really. If I had to give it something, it doesn't represent anything else,
right?
Really,
like,
about,
wouldn't it have been cool to see
2.
like it starts out going against Giacchio, and then you go against Chocolato and Sekka in near the Coliseum, and then you see Polnareff, right? I don't. Polnareff's not even in the intro. You like what?
Okay. Polnareff's not in the intro. They actually didn't spoil that one, so that's a point in its favor, I'd say. They didn't change it. I would have loved to see him.
I would have wanted to see the rest of La Squadra in there, though. that shows up during that time.
That's true. Only like I think it's only like there's flashbacks and like risotto. I think during the second half of Golden Wind, though. I think mostly at that point they're all dead.
Well, no, because we have Chocolate and Secco and Gyakio.
Chocolate and Secco are Gyakio is not in the second half. I know that for sure. Gyakio is the last part. Yeah, right.
I thought
before
Gyakio was the first fight after they banded together.
You have not watched.
Yeah, after they fight King Crimson for the first time and Bruno dies.
Nah, you're thinking of Squalo and Tiziano.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
You're thinking of them. Yeah. Also, technically, they're not La Squadra, quote unquote. It's not a fan term. It's said like one time in the manga, but it covers only Risotto's like division. Chocolata, Secco, Tiziano, Squalo. Those are just Diavolo's like.
Oh, you're right. I would have liked to see the other fights in the part.
Yes.
And Coco Jumbo would have been.
Coco Jump.
Funny little guy.
Let's all get an applause for best character Coco Jumbo.
Oh my God. Again, okay. I'll put it in the A tier so we can have our vote. There's so many A tiers. What I think we should do. Both of us have one pick that go to S tier, and both of us have one pick that go to B tier.
And what if they collide?
S tier supersedes it. We'll do S tier first, and then
we'll do S tier
there.
First, and we have to suffer with whatever the other person chooses. Okay.
Okay, so next, because the Rohan OVAs came out for the Part 5 Blu-rays, we're just gonna do that. I think this is probably the highest of C tier. I think it's better than Chase.
I think I would agree with you, but I don't think it breaks B. Yeah, so I think we have the same opinion.
Right? It's like right at the border. It could sneak into the end of B, but I think it's pretty solidly there. It's fun.
It's
the
solid.
Animation's pretty like low budget because it was just for the OVAs. Like so, it's not like super interesting. But I think
the songs themselves
fits.
They're nice.
Fits for it.
Got
There's
a good vibe going
not
on.
really much to talk about. Oh, we forgot one thing about Trader's Requiem.
Oh my gosh! All the
changes.
changes. Oh my lord!
Yes.
We got into a
I know.
discussion.
We were talking about what should actually be in it. That is something I do like about it. I don't think the changes are better than Part 3 or 6's, but the having two distinct changes.
It has two changes. It's like that's how you break like the cycle or whatever. Like you think there's only gonna be one change, the villain shows up and you're like, well, that's it. And then Giorno takes the opening back because he's just so powerful.
Good. Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, it goes insanely hard.
It beats Part 4 because there's two of them and it's like more unique animation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So now we're gonna go on to Stone Ocean, the intro that we thought was going to last for an eternity. I really like it. It definitely does it has a different vibe than the others. It's a lot more poppy, I think.
I would put it. I don't want to put everything in A, but
we're gonna do our vote. We're gonna do our draft vote in A. So I'm throwing it in A.
I'm throw it in A. Throw it in A.
I think I suspect that's gonna be one of the ones that stays through the vote in A.
Yeah.
Because I think both of us agree that is an A tier song. We're not gonna move it, so that's gonna remain in A. I'm gonna put it right in the middle there.
Stick it in there.
I obviously returned back to 3D in glorious fashion.
Oh
Some
my
of the
gosh!
best
When they uploaded that or what? Because they uploaded it a few
yeah.
the day before, I believe it was, and I just opened it. I saw 3D. I was like, what? What is happening?
I remember we talked about it because I wasn't as into JoJo at that point, but I talked about it before, and I was like, they're gonna go back to 3D intros, and you were like, no, they would never do that.
I was hopeless. I
know
they just hadn't been doing it for years.
It's fantastic that they did. Technically, there is an opening change, and for the batch 2.
We should talk about it.
Which I think it's cool, but obviously, I don't think we've had a bigger sense of despair watching JoJo than when we opened it up at midnight on Netflix, and it just immediately played the.
It went to the.
I wish we had a recording of that we could play. We were defeated.
Funny.
And then it had the little ending change. We were like, oh, and then that was it.
And it was it. It's literally just okay.
It's a cover reference. It gets a bonus point.
Yeah, it's funny for being the volume cover, but like, I would have liked a separate opening.
I would totally.
What
would
I'm predicting, what happened is there was probably some plans to do some sort of second opening. That's what I think, because it is so weird how the first the opening is just called Stone Ocean, right?
Yeah.
I believe. Okay. It is incredibly weird how the visuals of Stone Ocean cover the exact first third of it, and
plus one little thing from Jailhouse Lock.
Yeah, they show freaking Mew Mew in
for
5 seconds, which is more like a Easter egg than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, freaking the person with the crocodile puppet gets more screen time than Mew Mew in the opening does.
But it's so it was just ridiculous when you were getting into like Yo-Yo Ma and you were having this intro.
Yeah, it was like this has nothing to do with what we're doing. I think there were plans to do something, but they cut it. But that
regardless,
does not matter.
we're not gonna. The song is a banger. The intro animation is a banger and fits very well.
We should not judge it based off of Netflix's garbage release.
Yeah.
That's not what we're here to do. It is a banger.
Very good.
It is great. Animation is popping. It's the colors are beautiful. I like how the string like vibrates on beat or whatever. That's a fun little thing. So yeah.
Okay, next. This is basically for me End of the World 2 in terms of I thought it was good at first, and it has grown on me to the point where it is the probably top of A tier for me now, and Heaven's Falling Down.
No, this is just End of the World again. This is
I
like
know,
V tier.
that's why I love it.
this is like V tier. It's the same.
It's so
thing.
good.
I thought it was pretty good when I heard it, and then I thought it was good, and I still think it's good. It's
and then
the
higher beats per minute for the change too. It goes hard.
That was good. It does go hard, not hard enough to pass my bar.
So good. You have that. You're literally like, oh, Trader's Requiem starts off slow and builds up, and literally has.
But you're like, you think that's
I know. Yeah, we're both hypocritical about this. Because Heaven's Falling Down is good. That's why.
I see. Okay. Yeah, apology accepted.
Heaven's Falling Down has that epic opening where it has them all in silhouette, and then it goes and then it looks at them looking at the stars, bro.
Okay, yeah, that part's good. I think the part where they're all in silhouette, it's a bit boring. It's literally just we take half the song to show each of the characters slowly pan across the screen doing like one thing. It's a bit like you could have done something more here, but the other part, every other part of the opening is great.
It's
The
so good.
I remember when it clicked for me at the end, where the ending of this is just the ending of Sono Chido Sadame, where Jonathan's running forward and then
dude,
the dark determination
because
in his eyes.
we were watching it together, and for the first few episodes we were like, okay, where are they gonna put in the villain change? And we thought what they were gonna do is wait all the way until the beach scene and then do the change, and it would like it would scroll through all the intros.
Because I thought it was weird that she took so much time just kind of standing there or whatever.
Yeah, and
like,
also that they obviously they weren't going to spoil it, but that they had Whitesnake on the beach, which is not what happens at all.
That's just not an event
so we were
that
like,
happens in the story. Yeah.
they're gonna swap it. But no, and then now we go. I think it's the best villain change. Easily, I think.
It's so hard for me because the world is so incredibly iconic.
Is the main thing.
But I think what really solidifies it for me is like all the other references, the manga panels, the freaking the Sono Chido Sadame punch or whatever, the shot that's reminiscent of the ending of Stand Proud. Yeah, it all culminates. It feels so good. It feels exactly.
I've seen some comments about this before that I agree with. I think that they should have done a more traditional Made in Heaven villain swap on the first Made in Heaven episode, and then for the finale of Stone Ocean they should have done this one because it feels more like a celebration of the whole series instead of a
if I had to say, I think this, I would agree now that I've like thought about it more. I think this is the best villain swap. I would say though it is all the rest of them incorporate their power into it, and this one has like the beats a bit up. You mentioned that earlier.
The beat speeds up, and then it's implied because, I mean, if you look
ending,
at
it goes all university
because
and like
you have Pucci go in front of Jotaro, and then it speeds up through all of the manga panels in order through the parts, so it like kind of implies you're going through the parts again super fast.
Yeah, but there was a lot more you could have done with it.
Pretty much everyone thought what they were gonna do is speed through the intros, literally.
Yeah, literally.
But that was probably because we watched it together. That was probably our biggest reaction was or roundabout in the ending was bigger.
Oh yeah, that's
the
probably.
manga panels flipping and being in the Joestar mansion was like
because we'd already read it, so we knew everything that was gonna happen. We didn't know what the opening would be like, so that was like the biggest like part of that for me, basically.
For like a new reaction, we had already seen
for a new reaction. I just wanted to see what Made in Heaven looked like. I wanted to see what the ending would be like. I wanted to see everything like that.
So I think. Personally, I want this to be in our A tier, because for me it's an S tier, and you think it's a B tier. So
for me, it's a B tier.
It's an A tier, and we can put it in our draft. So if you want to send it to the depths of hell, you can do that. And comment section, destroy him.
Go, loyal fans, go.
My opinions are right, guys. Everyone agrees with me.
Okay, so anyways,
so now we're wrapped up.
List off all the A tiers because I can't see.
S tier.
I can't see the tier list.
S tier we have Sonochi no Sadame. That's staying there.
That's staying good.
A tier we got Fighting Gold, End of the World, Great Days, Stone Ocean, Bloody Stream, Stand Proud, Trader's Requiem, and Heaven's Falling Down.
Oh, that's easy. Bloody Stream to S. That's my
Bloody Stream to S. Okay, my S is gonna be End of the World.
Okay.
And then so let me just go through B and C tier now. B tier is Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town. C tier is Rohan, intro, Chase, and Crazy Noisy EDM.
Okay. Something from A to B.
I'll let you send one from A to B first.
List them off again.
So what's left now is Fighting Gold, Great Days, Stone Ocean, Stand Proud, Trader's Requiem, and Heaven's Falling Down.
Send Heaven's Falling Down to B tier. Cast it out. Cast it into the fire.
Cast it into the fire. And Rohan will come.
And then you get to send something down. Unless you don't want to, in which I mean, like,
me.
I think we should though. You have to.
Me doing like the freaking gladiator thumbs down to Trader's Requiem. I'm doing that.
My veins, they're. I can feel my.
Okay, but the A tier is solid. I think it's Fighting Gold, Great Days, Stone Ocean, and Stand Proud, which I think is a pretty good selection.
That's much more well-rounded than our just everything is in A tier.
Yeah. What I will do is Crazy Noisy Bizarre Town, in my opinion, is worse than Trader's Requiem and Heaven's Falling Down.
I'll let you, just because I don't want to have to like have you like argue over every single minute tier. I'll let you adjust in their own tiers. I'll let you do that. You can do that.
Yes, and that's why I have End of the World at the top of S tier, guys. I'll leave Sonochi no Sadame there because that's a universal one.
Yes, that's yeah.
I think pretty much for the future, I guess I'll just say for the future for the openings, I hope that they obviously stay 3D.
Oh yeah.
I think it's proven by our list that the 2D intros are by far weaker. Just animation-wise, they can't do as much, and it's really, really cool to see what they do with those models that I think perfectly replicate Rocky
I would like
style.
to see them bring back 3 openings because
they have to for JoJo'lian at least because of how long that is.
Diamond is Unbreakable, I think, did it very well.
Yeah.
I think it was weird. I think when it first happened, Chase starts in the middle of like Rohan, which is kind of odd. But
really
I think
weird.
having that, I don't think in that middle portion having Crazy Noise Bizarre Town or Great Days, it would not have worked.
Yeah.
I think as much as I don't like, I like Chase, but compared to the relatively, I don't like Chase.
It's weak, yeah.
It's weak. I think it works, and I think they should like try and replicate that later by like having more openings.
Totally, and I mean, JoJo'lian is probably gonna be longer than Stardust Crusaders, actually. People have
absolutely. Volume count wise, it's almost impossible to not.
And
yeah.
So we're gonna do. This is our opening video, and we'll eventually do a closing ending video.
We'll do the EDs, yeah.
Which I think that's definitely gonna be more heavily animation based because it's just actual songs.
Well, thank you, everybody. Comment below your very, very good objective opinions on what the openings are like. Comment those, and we will definitely not ban you if you think Chase is S tier. That's a promise I'm making right now. And I wanna see your guys' opinions. And unless we have anything left to say, I think that's it. I think we're done here.
Yeah, just also subscribe.
Yeah, also that's a good important thing.
If you don't subscribe, I'm gonna chase you. I'm gonna chase you.
It's like the reference. That's so funny. That's so funny. The
if you don't subscribe, it'll be the end of the world.
And end the video.
It'll be a bloody stream. Okay, bye.
Watch where you going, hold the drive. Let the downside up to top notch, whatever haters do.